Get a Job in Tech, episode 234. Why do I talk about IT? Why do I talk about getting a job in IT or tech for that matter? It's because I've seen it firsthand from individuals who work at McDonald's or work at Walmart. Not that there's anything wrong with those two jobs, but they get out of high school, they take a year off, they go work at Walmart or they go work at McDonald's 10 years later, although they've got a couple raises, but they're still working in the same place. Imagine what it does every day. The stress level you have to work at McDonald's. And because people are quitting a lot. They don't work there a lot. It's not a job that people stay at for 10, 15 years. And it's constantly a demand every day, especially if you're at a McDonald's that wakes up. They wake up at 6 a.m. So you get there at 6 a.m. or before. If you're working there 10 to 15 years, either you're a manager or you're their assistant manager or you're just a regular worker who's been there a long time and you've got a couple raises. But every day, waking up at 6 a.m. So you take a shower, you wake up, you get into work by 5:30, and you have grease on you every day after work, and you're just looking for the weekend and fun. I'm going to have a weekend off. And likelihood is you may have set hours. If you worked there that long, they may have said, here's your set hours. You're working 4:30 or let's say, 4:30, let's say, to 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, whatever it is, or 2 o'clock, let's say. So you're working those hours every single day, 5 days a week, and you get your weekends off. Great, awesome, fantastic. And it goes 10 years. You're like that 10, 15 years. And everybody you've gone to high school with, you see them on LinkedIn. You don't usually go to LinkedIn anymore. You don't go to Facebook anymore and see them, or Instagram, because they have a more glorious life than you do. So you think anyway. And meanwhile, you're kind of embarrassed to put, I worked at McDonald's for the past 10 years. And some of your colleagues who've gone through high school and now they're in good careers. And the career field, it's making six figures. Most likely you don't, though. Because if you're working at McDonald's, your stress level is so high. Your focus is just get to the next day. Let me just get to the weekend and have less stress. Let me get to the weekend so I don't have to worry about anything else. And you wake up 10 years later and you're 10 years older. Now, what do you got? It's going to be very hard, very difficult for you to shift to go to work in another field. That is not IT, of course. However, in IT, there's a difference. In IT, you could definitely start working as a help desk or just a call center. I always tell people, go to work at a call center, get the soft skills you needed. Telemarketing, basically. So you work at a call center and you're going to call for the company. You're going to call an individual to sell something, whatever that thing is, or the campaign season, let's say, or it could be for you're selling phones. You're selling anything like that. Maybe you're selling a product or you're selling a service, or you're just receiving calls from companies who answered an ad. Some company sent them an email and they're calling you for information, whatever, and you read off a script. Okay, so that's probably the first thing to get. And it's going to be overwhelming. Guarantee it's overwhelming. Now, most likely you worked at the place you worked at, let's call it McDonald's, for 10 years. The turnover rate for the people working there, you feel like, I'm the person that worked there 10 years. I know what's going on, et cetera, and your pay rate caps out at a certain amount of dollars. Guarantee it does, until you go to a higher position. And that could be kind of an ego hit, or hit to your ego, essentially. If you work in a call center, now you're making less an hour. And that's probably what's going to happen. You say, well, I worked at McDonald's for 10 years and I'm going to I made $20 an hour at McDonald's working there 10 years, and when I'm going to go ever go to call center for 14, 15 an hour, no, I'm good. But that's exactly what you should do, actually. If that's what you want to do. Now, hey, look, you're going to do what you want to do. Whatever. I'm just here to say, I think IT is a great job. That's it. And it is a great job. And it has a lot of opportunities for you. But ultimately you have to decide. No one can decide for you. No one can say, yes, oh, do that. And it's going to be probably one of the hardest decisions you can make, because you've already had a field that you're in 10 years or so. And to be able to move into a totally different field. And so when you get in this call center, what you're going to probably seek out is you're going to seek out individuals there who are on you're on the same frequency as you, or wavelength. Now, meaning you worked at Walmart and all you know is Walmart, you know all these things. Then you work at call center, you're going to seek out like-minded individuals. Maybe they worked at Walmart before, and you're going to talk about it because that's what you want to do. Now, you think you want to work at this call center for 10 years. You think, yeah, I want to work no, you don't. You want to work at the call center just long enough to where you can get some skill set and then go to work at a help desk job. Let's say like an internet service provider, something like that. That's what you want to do. So while you're at the call center, you find out or you can even Google, how do I get a job in IT? Or how do I get a job in tech? What are the certifications needed? Boom. Then you get the A+, you get the Security Plus, and then you keep applying. Every single week you keep applying for a new job. Because you don't want to waste that 10 years. You got to make up for the time that 10 years took. So now you have to fast track it, meaning you're going to spend 12 hours a week on just looking for jobs and just re-educating yourself. If you think about it, 168 hours a week, and if you only work at a call center now, we're just going back. We're going to assume you work at a call center now, and you work at a call center, and maybe your shift is 12 hours a day for 4 days a week, or it could be 10-hour days, whatever. But you still can find 12 hours a week to learn, to teach yourself. And it's going to be very, very difficult, because you got to think about your mindset coming from McDonald's and now working in a call center, and it's going to be very difficult to do it on your own. Very, very difficult. So just try to watch videos, really, and then any extra time you have, constantly watch videos until you understand it. How does it work? The other thing is to get in and go on search on jobs. Just constantly search a job. If you learn a skill at work, put it in your resume, boom, put it in there. And then the job you're searching for is a help desk admin or a junior help desk administrator. That's what your job title should be when you're looking for another job. For example, that's the job that you want to look at. You want to strive for. You just keep on going to interviews until you get that job. And then now you have the job, finally. And then from there, you're just going to grow and get better. Because even if the job pays from 15 an hour at a call center, it even pays 17, 18 bucks an hour. Now you're still lower than 20 when you worked at McDonald's. But even the $18 an hour in that field is still much better than working at McDonald's, having grease on your face every day when you get home and feeling exhausted and stressed out because of the amount of customers you have to deal with every day. It's the demands working at McDonald's is very, very great. Yeah, just think about that. Think of something, and the idea is not to spend a career living in someone else's life, essentially. Okay, and do you feel fulfilled in your current job? And did you one day you had 2 doors to go into and you went to the wrong door, essentially, when you worked at McDonald's? In hindsight, no, at the time you don't know, but in hindsight, you think, oh, I went to the wrong door. And are there learning opportunities where you're working at now? Ask yourself that, where you're currently at McDonald's. Let's say you work at McDonald's. And what's the fastest way for you to make up lost time and to get up those 10 years so you don't do another 10 years of a job at McDonald's you don't like? There's a couple different things to think about, obviously. IT, obviously, right? I mean, you can learn everything in IT and you know all this skill set. Yeah, we get all that, right? That's fine. Everybody does it. Everybody learns skills. But the stress level that you're going to feel is going to be less from a high pressure job like McDonald's. You're still going to feel pressure, of course. And it's okay if you don't know. A lot of people have this, what do they call it? Imposter syndrome. It's very, very common. It's very common. It doesn't matter. Most people in IT, they're not smarter than you are. You know that Steve Jobs quote. What is it? Steve Jobs quotes basically everybody you think is smarter than you is not. That's really it right there. IT, it's just like you can't no one in IT. Well, very few. So I know one individual, but very few in IT actually know they can pull up information from 2, 3, 4 jobs ago and exactly know. They have to Google it. They have to research. How did they do that before? Oh, I don't know. They know the strategy. They know how it works, meaning they know, okay, my router's offline. Okay, what's the issue? Probably most likely is it power? No. Is it network? Yeah, probably. Or is it something else? Is it a firewall port? Is it a network issue? What type of server is it? Is it physical? Is it virtual? Is it can I get to it? Is it a web server? Can I just go on the website that's IS is installed on it, let's say? Is it an Apache server? Is it a Linux server? Does it have a database on it? Is database down? These are all kinds of things. Maybe it's just my internet's not. Maybe my internet's not down, and I can't get to it because I don't have internet. Maybe that's it. These are just, I will call them logical. I would call them probably logical, not logical thinkers. It's called, I think it would be called logical thinker, where you think it logically. What is it? What's the issue? How can I go through it? Can I go through the steps? And then come to a conclusion of possibly what it could be. Again, in IT, they go home, end of the day, they don't turn the computer on. Most of them, let's say 95% of the people working in IT, maybe, let's be fair and say 80%. 80% of the people are go home in IT and they don't have a computer. They don't turn it on. They have a phone, but they don't turn it on. They don't care. I'm good. Because they're happy. They're whatever role they're in. They don't want more stress. They don't want to, I won't say they don't want to learn more, but I will say they're in that role, fine. They've made the money. They're making the money now. They feel, well, this is it. This is the most I'm probably going to make. So let me just maintain and try not to rock boat and just have a chill life, essentially. And we know that money, income, let's say wealth, doesn't translate to an easy life. However, it does translate to a freedom life, meaning you have more free, you have options. If you're wealthy, you have way more options than someone who's, think of it this way. You're working at Walmart, or sorry, you're working at McDonald's. I would say Walmart. You're working at McDonald's. What freedoms do you have from your job? Free from your job. Think about it. Free from, say it with me. Free from my job. Free from my job. When you work in IT, you get a job in tech, you're free from, eventually you become free from your job because either through income, either through wealth, either through, in a sort of way where you work from home all the time and you have the freedom that way. And that's not necessarily free from your job, but that's more freedom because now you can work anywhere in the world, essentially, as long as your company's okay with it. You're working from home. You have to have the right job, of course, but the chances of you getting the job are easier if you work in work in IT or work in tech than it is if you work at McDonald's. McDonald's doesn't have, you can't do work from home with McDonald's. It doesn't exist. So thanks a lot. We'll see you in the next one.